Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is the SAT practice test 4, and in this video I'll be working on the math section. But just before we get started, I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel and also like the video. Thank you very much for your support. Alright, let's get started. Okay, so this is module 1 and it contains 27 questions. Question 1, it says a group of students voted on 5 after-school activities. The bar graph shows the number of students who voted for each of the 5 activities. How many students chose activity 3? So over here we have the activities, and this is activities 3. So looking at this bar, we can draw and trace it down to this point. Okay, so the height of this bar, which represent activities 3, is between 35 and 40. So if we look at the option, A is 25 and B is 39. So 39 is between 35 and 40. So this is the answer to this question, and I hope it makes some sense. All right, let's go to question 2. Question 2 says, what percentage of 300 is 75? So let's use x to represent the percentage. That is, x% of 300 is equals to 75. So now this automatically means x over 100 times 300 is equals 75. So x times 300 is 300x. So 300x over 100 is equals 75. And this 0 can cancel this 0 from here, and this 0 can also cancel this. So we now have 3x is equals 75. So now simply divide both sides by 3, and 3 would cancel 3 from here. So 75 divided by 3, this would simply give us 25. So x is equals to 25, which represents the percentage. So option A is the correct answer to this question. All right, let's go to question 3. Question 3 says, what is the solution to the given equation? So we have x squared over 25 is equals 36. So we can, since these numbers are perfect squares, we can just take the square root of both sides. So this becomes x squared, the square root of x squared over the square root of 25 is equals to the square root of 36, and this will give us x over 5 is equals 6. And now simply cross multiply, use this 5 to multiply this 6, and x will be equals to 5 times 6, which is 30. So the answer to this question is B. All right, so let's go to question 4. 3 more than 8 times a number x is equals 83. Which equation represents this situation? So 3 more than 8 times x. So that means 3 plus 8 multiplied by x is equals to 83. And 8 times x is 8x. So this becomes 3 plus 8x is equals to 83. So looking at the option D is the correct answer to this question. Okay, so let's go to the next one, question 5. Question 5, Hannah deposited a fixed amount into her bank account each month. The function f of t is equals to 100 plus 25t gives the amount in dollars in Hannah's bank account after t monthly deposits. What is the best interpretation of 25 in this context? Option A says, with each monthly deposit, the amount in Hannah's bank account increased by $25. That is the answer to the question, because every month Hannah deposits $25 into the account. So it means that the account increased by 25% every month. So if you look at option B, it said before Hannah made any monthly deposit, the amount in her bank account was 25. That is not correct. Option C says after 1 month monthly deposit, the amount in Hannah's bank account was 25. That is still not correct. And option D says Hannah made a total of 25 monthly deposits, which is still not correct. So every month she deposits $25 into the account, and the account automatically increased by $25 every month. Okay, so let's go to question 6. Question 6. A customer spent $27 to purchase oranges at $3 per pound. How many pounds of oranges did the customer purchase? To solve this problem, we simply need to divide $27 by the rate, which is $3 per pound. So divide by $3. The dollar sign will simply cancel out, and 27 divided by 3 will give us 9. So the answer to this question is 9 pounds of oranges. So that is it for this question. All right, let's move on to question 7. So question 7 says Nasia bought 9 orange beans that were each the same price. He used a coupon for 63 of the entire purchase. The cost for the entire purchase after using the coupon was $27. What was the original price in dollars for one storage bin? All right, so to answer this question, we simply need to add this $63 to the amount he paid, so which is $63 plus $27, and this would give us $90. So this is the original price for the 9 storage bin. Okay, so now the cost of one storage bin, the original cost of one storage bin will be $90 $20 divided by 9, and this will be equals to $10. So this is the answer to this question, and I hope it makes some sense. All right, let's move on to question 8. All right, so question 8 says for the linear function f, the table shows 3 values of x and their corresponding value of f of x. Which equation defines f of x? So now the first thing we are going to do is to find the slope, which is represented by m. And remember, m is equals to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So we can take 2 points. We can take this first one and the second, and we take this to be x1, y1, and this to be x2, y2. So that means this will become 32 minus 29 over 1 minus 0. And this will be equals to 32 minus 29 is 3, and 1 minus 0 is 1. So this slope is automatically 3. So now we can use the point slope form, which is y minus y1 is equals to the slope x minus x1. So we can take any point. We can use the first point, which is 0 and 29. Okay, so and plug them into this point slope form. So this will become y minus 29. y1 is 29, so y minus 29 is equals to the slope, which is 3, x minus 0, because x1 is 0. So if we clear the brackets, then this will become y minus 29 is equals to 3x. So 3 times 0 is 0, so we can leave it at that. So now we can simply add 29 to both sides, and y will be equals to 3x plus 29. So this y can be written as a function, which is f of x is equals to 3x plus 29. So that is the answer to this question, and option A is the right answer to this question, and I hope it makes some sense. Okay, so let's go to question 9. Question 9. Question 9 says, right triangle PQR, this is triangle PQR, and STU, this is STU, are similar where P corresponds to S. So this is P, it corresponds to S. If the measurement of angle Q is 18, this is angle Q over here, and if this is 18, what is the measure of angle S? So if this is 18, and then angle Q corresponds to angle T, so automatically this will be 18, because similar shape. Okay, the side length are proportional, but the angles are congruent, and therefore they are equal. So Q corresponds to T, and automatically S would be 90 minus 18. 90 minus 18 So 90 minus 18 would give us 72. So angle X will be equals to 90 minus 18, and this will be equals to 72. So that is the answer to this question in degrees. So B is the right option to this question, and I hope it makes some sense. All right, let's go to question 10. Okay, so question 10. The scatter plot shows the relationship between two variables, x and y. Z, which of the following equation is the most appropriate linear model for the data shown? Okay, so the first thing we need to realize about this table is that the scatter plot is coming from the top down. That simply means that the slope is going to be negative. Slope is negative. Slope is negative. And secondly, you can see that the y-intercept is um, is around 10, either before 10 or simply close to 10. So the y-intercept is around 10 approximately. Okay, so let's say approximately 10. Okay, so now if we look at the option, okay, so you can see that the slope here in this first option is positive, so this is simply out of it. The slope in option B is negative, so that could be the answer, and the slope in option C is positive, so strike the positive slope out, and the slope in option D is negative. Now secondly, we have to consider the intercept, the y-intercept. As you can see up here, the intercept is close to 10 or exactly 10. So let's look at that from here. So the intercept in option B is 0.9, okay, which is this value. The y-intercept is 0.9, and option D, the y-intercept is 9.4. 9.4 is closer to 10, so this is the right answer to this question, and I hope it makes some sense. Okay, so that is the answer to this question. So all right, so let's quickly go to question 11. The given equation describes the relationship between the number of verbs B and the number of reptiles R that can be cared for at a pet care business on a given day. If the business care for 16 reptiles on a given day, how many birds can it care for on this day? Okay, since um, the reptile was cared for, the number of reptile cared for was 16. R is equal to 16, so we simply need to substitute this into the equation. So 2.5b plus 5 times 16 is equals 80. So 2.5b plus 5 times 16 is equals 80, and this will be equals to 80. So if we subtract 80 from both sides, then 2.5b will be equals to 0. So if you divide both sides by 2.5, this would cancel out, and 0 divided by 2.5 is 0. So the number of birds attended to on that day is 0. So the option is A. All right, so let's go to question 12. All right, here is question 12. It says, what is an equation of the graph? What is an equation of the graph shown? Okay, so we are going to be looking at these options. So which of them is the equation of the line? Okay, so first of all, we need to identify 2 points. The y-intercept is at this point here, and the x-intercept is at this point. So the x-intercept is at -8 and 0, while the y-intercept is at 0, -8. So with these 2 points, we can find the slope. Remember, the slope is simply y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we can take the first point to be x1, y1, and the second point to be x2, y2. So now it means that the y2 is -8 minus y1 is 0 over x2 is 0 minus x1 is -8. So simply put it in a parenthesis. So this will be equals to -8 minus 0 is -8 over negative is positive. So this will become +8. So -8 divided by 8 would give us -1. So the slope is equals -1. All right, so we can choose any of these 2 points and use it with this point slope form. Y minus y1 is equals to m x minus x1. So if we are making use of the first point, which is this, then our y2, so y1 is 0, so this will become y minus 0 is equals to the slope, which is -1, then x minus -8. So let's put that in a bracket like this. So this would be equals to y minus 0 is y, so this is y, equals to -1, then x, so negative would give us positive like this. So now if we clear the parenthesis, then -1 times s will give you -x, and -1 times +8 will give us -8. So y is equals to -x, -8. So the right option to this question would be C. I hope that makes some sense. All right, so let's go to question 13. If x over 8 is equals to 5, what is the value of 8 over x? So x over 8 is equals to 5. Simply cross multiply. So x will be equals to 8 times 5, and this will give us 40. So now let's substitute this value into this. So automatically this will become 8 over 40, which is equals to 1 over 5. So this is the answer to the question, 1 over 5. All right, so let's go to question 14. It says the solution to the given system of equation is x, y. What is the value of y? Okay, so in this case, we are trying to get the value of y. So the first thing to do is to eliminate x. by using the elimination method. So because the coefficient of x in equation 1, so we can tag this as equation 1 and this to be equation 2. So the coefficient of x here is 24, so we can simply multiply 6 by 4 in order to also have 24. So let's just put this in parentheses and multiply by 4. So when we do, we are going to have, so first of all, let's write down equation 1, which is 24x plus y equals to 48. And now if we distribute 4 into equation 2, that is going to give us 24x plus 4y is equals to 4 times 72. 4 times 2 is 8 and 4 times 7 is 28. So this gives us 288. So now let's subtract equation 2 from equation 1. So 24x minus 24x will simply cancel out, and y minus 4y will give us negative 3y, and this will be equals to 48 minus 288. Okay, let's just do 288 minus 48, and then we can change it to, so this will give you 0 and this is 4, and so this automatically is negative 240. Remember, we are doing 48 minus 288. So now we can divide both sides by negative 3. Divide both sides by negative 3. So negative 3 will cancel negative 3 from here, and negative will cancel negative from here, and automatically y will be equals to 3 into 24 is 8, and 3 into 0 is 0. So y is equals to 80. So this is the answer to this question, and I hope it makes some sense. All right, so let's go to question 15. Question 15. Line T in the xy plane has a slope of negative 1 over 3 and passes through this point. Which equation defines line T? Remember that slope is already given. M is equals to negative 1 over 3, and we also have a point which is 9 and 10. So x is 9 and y is 10. So using y, the point slope from y minus y1 is equals to m x minus x1. We can simply plug in this slope and the point into this. So this will become y minus 10 is equals to negative 1 over 3 x minus 9. So if we distribute negative 1/3 into the parentheses, this will become negative 1/3 x, and negative 1/3 times negative 9 will give us positive 3. So y minus 10 is equals this. So we can add 10 to both sides, and y will be equals to negative 1/3 x plus 3 plus 10, which finally gives negative 1/3 x plus 13. So this is not the answer. This is not the answer. Negative 1/3 x plus, this is still not the answer, and this is the right answer here. Okay, good. So that is the answer to question 15. So let's go to question 16. The function f of x equals 206 open bracket 1.034 to the power of x. Model the value in dollars of a certain bank account by the end of each year from 1957 through 1974, 72, where X is the number of years after 1957. Which of the following is the best interpretation of f of 5 is approximately equals to 243 in this context? Okay, so that means f of 5 simply means in 5 years. Okay, so in 5 years, that means 1957 plus 1957 plus 5 would be 1962. Okay, so in the year 1962, which is 5 years, the amount would be this. Okay, so let's look at the options. The value of the bank account is estimated to be approximately $5. No. Option B, the value of the bank account is estimated to be approximately this value in 1962. That is the answer to the question. Okay, look at option C. The value in dollars of the bank account is estimated to be approximately 5 times greater. No. The value of the bank account is estimated to increase by approximately this. No. So the answer is option B. All right, so let's now go to question 17. All right, so question 17. For a certain rectangular region, the ratio of its length to its width is 35 to 10. If the width of the rectangular region increases by 7 units, how must the length change to maintain this ratio? Okay, so we already have the ratio of the length to the width, which is 35. Let's write that in as a fraction, 35 to 10. And if the width, which is the denominator, increase by 7, this will become 10 plus 7, and then 35 plus the value which is not known. Let's use X to represent that. Okay, so we can simplify this by dividing the 35 and 10 by 5, which will give us 7 over 2. So this will be equals to 35 plus X over 10 plus 7 is 17. So now we can simply cross multiply, use the 17 to multiply this, and 17 times 7 would give us 119 over 2. So this will be equals to 35 plus X. So 119 divided by 2 would give us 50. 2 into 11 is 5. 2 into 19 is 9. Point remainder 1. Okay, good. 59.5 will be equals to 35 plus X. So now we can subtract 35 from both sides. Then X will be equals to 59.5 minus 35. So if you do this subtraction, it's going to give us 24.5, which is the answer to this question, and option B has it. All right, so let's go to question 18. Square P has a side length of x inches. Square Q has a perimeter that is 76 inches greater than the perimeter of square p. The function f gives the area of Q in square inches. Which of the following define F? So let's simply just draw the two squares. This is square P, and the side length is X, as you can see over here. The side length is X, so let's make this X, and square Q, we are told that the perimeter of square Q is 170 is greater than the perimeter of 176 greater than the perimeter of square P. So now we need to find the perimeter of square P because the side length is X. So the perimeter of square P will be equals to 4x because each of the side is X, X, and X. So if you add up this X, is going to give us 4x. So this is the perimeter of square Q. And the perimeter of square Q is 176 greater, so which means that the perimeter of Q, perimeter Q will be equals to 4x plus 176. Good. So that is the perimeter of square Q. Now, remember, let me make this a bit clearer. Okay, so Q is equals to 4x plus 176. All right, so if we have the perimeter of square Q, then we can find the side length of Q by simply dividing the perimeter by 4. So the side length of square Q is equals to 4x plus 176 divided by 4. So if we divide 4x by 4, that is going to give us x. Also, if you divide 176 by 4, it's going to give us 44. All right. So now this is the side length of square Q. So the area of square Q will be equals to x plus 44 squared. So option A has it, because once you have the side length of a square, the area is simply the side length squared. Okay, so option A has it. So that is it for question 18. So let's quickly move on to question 19. The given equation relates the distinct positive real number w, x, and y. Which equation correctly expresses w in terms of x and y? Okay, so in this case, we are going to write the equation in terms of w. So we have 14x over 7y is equals to 2 root w plus 19. So first we are going to divide both sides by 2. So if you divide both sides by 2, then this would be 14x over 7y times 2 is equals to 2w plus 19 over 2. So 2 would cancel 2 from here. 2 into 2 is 1, and into 14 is 7. So we now have 7x over, so we can as well cancel 7, can also, okay, 7x over 7y is equals to root w plus 19. So now 7 can also cancel 7 from here, and we now have x over y is equals to the square root of w plus 19. So to get rid of the square root sign, we can square both sides, and this will become x over y squared is equals to w plus 19. And now we can subtract 19 from both sides. So w will be equals to x over y squared minus 19. And so this is the answer to this question, and option C has it. Okay, so let's go to question 20. Question 20. When O is the center of a circle, the measure of arc RX on the circle is 100 degrees. What is the measure in degrees of the associate angle ROX? So we have a circle, and the center is O, and then the measure of ROS. So if this is R and this is S, then we have the arc. The measure of the arc is 100. Here is 100 degrees. What is the measure of the degree of the associate angle? So if this is 100, if the arc is 100, automatically this is the associate angle. It's also the same thing as 100 degrees. So the answer is 100 degrees. I hope that makes some sense. All right, so question 21. The expression 6 fifth root of 3 to the power of 5x to 45 times 8 root of 2 to the power of 8 and x is AXB. Alright, so where a and b are positive constant and x is greater than 1, what is the value of a plus b? So now let's set the so this will become 3 to 5 x to 45 times the 8th root of 2 to 8 x. So we are setting the equation ax to b. So now this is the same thing as 6. So the fifth root of 3 to the fifth power is 3, and this dot sign is a dot multiplication, and the fifth root of x to 45 is x to 9. All you have to do, 45 divided by 5 is 9. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So that gives us this value. So now the 8th root of 2 to the power of 8 is 2, because 8 divided by 8 is 1. And we need to keep the value of x, okay, as the 8th root, which can also be written as 1/8. Okay, so this is equals to a x to the power of b. Or excuse me. So 6 times 2 is 18, and 18 times 2, 6 times 3 is 18, and 18 times 2 would give us 36, and times x to the power of 9 times x to the power of 1/8. We can simply add up the power. So 9 plus 1/8, and this is equals to a x to b. So 9 plus 1/8 would give us 9/1 plus 1/8. So multiply this by 8 and also multiply 9 by 8. So that gives you 72/8 plus 1/8. So we have a common denominator of 8. So 72 plus 1 is 73. So this is 73/8. So we now have 36 x to the power of 73/8 is equals to a x to the power of b. So from this, we can see that a is equals 36 and b is equals 73/8. b is equals 73/8. So now we are required to find the sum of a and b. So a plus b is equals to 36 plus 73/8. So write this over 1. So now we can multiply this by 8 and also multiply 36 by 8. Multiply 36 by 8. So 36 times 8 would give us, this is 8, you carry 4. 8 times 3 is 24 plus 4, 28. So this will give us 288/8 plus 73/8. So we need to add up 288 plus 73. So 8 plus 3 is 11. Write down 1, carry 1 here. So this will give you 16. So 361. So this will be equals to 361/8, which is the answer to the question. I hope this makes some sense. All right, so let's go to question 22. All right, question 22. A right triangle has sides of length 2√2, 6√2, and the square root of 80 units. What is the area of the triangle in square units? So let's assume we have this, and remember the hypotenuse is the longest side, so automatically this is the square root of 80, and this could be 2√2 and 6√2. So now the area of a triangle is equals to half times the base times the height. So this will be equals to 1/2 times 2√2 times 6√2. So these two can simply cancel these two from here, and this will be equals to √2 times 6√2. So root 2 times root 2 will simply give us 2. So this will become 6 times 2, and this will be equals to 12. So this is the answer to the question. Option B is the answer to this question. All right, so let's go to question 23. The expression for x squared plus bx minus 45, where b is a constant, can be written as h of hx plus k in bracket, x plus j in bracket, where h, k, and j are integer constants. Which of the following must be an integer? So the first thing we are going to do is to expand this. So hx plus k and x plus j. So this would be equals to hx times s will give us hx squared. Hx times j would give us plus hjx, and k times s would give us kx, and k times j would give us plus kj. So we can factor x from this. So this will be equals to hx squared plus hj plus k. Put this in a bracket and let the x stays outside, plus k and j. Now we can bring this down here. 4x squared plus bx minus 45. So now we can compare each of these. So hx squared corresponds to 4x squared. So that means h is equals to 4. hx squared is correspond to 4x squared. So h is equals to 4. Then bx correspond to the whole of this. So b is equals to hj plus k, and um, negative, we can simply write kj is equals to negative 45. Negative 45 correspond to that. So now we already have h to be 4, so we can plug the value into this. So b is equals to 4j plus k, 4j plus k, and kj is equals negative 45. So if we divide both sides by k, then j will be equals to negative 45 over k. So from the option, h is equals to 4 is not available there. Then b is equals to 4j plus k is not also there. But we have j equals negative 45 over k. Since it's an integer, negative 45 over k is the same as 45 over k. So this is the right option to the question. I hope it makes some sense. All right, so let's go to question 24. Okay. In the given system of equation, A is a constant. The graph of the equations in the given system intersect at exactly one point. Okay. It intersects at exactly one point. Let's take note of that. XY. In the XY plane, what is the value of X? So what it's trying to say here is that if we have the XY plane to be something like this, and we have this to be the equation of the parabola, it says it intersects at one point. So this will be the point here, so which means we are going to find the minimum point of the equation. So let's first of all, because y is equals to this and y is equals to this, so let's set both of them to each other. So this will become 2x squared minus 21x plus 64 is equals to 3x plus a. Now we can subtract 3x from both sides and also subtract a from both sides, and this will become 2x squared minus 21x minus 3a plus 64 minus a equals to 0. So this will become 2x squared minus 24x plus 64 minus a equals to 0. So now to find the minimum point, we simply need to use x equals to negative b over 2a. So from here, this value here is our a. So a is equals to 2 and b is negative 24. So if we plug them into this equation, then x will be equals to negative 24 over 2 times 2, because a is 2 and b is negative 24. So negative will give us positive 24. So that means x will be equals to positive 24 over 2 times 2 is 4. So 24 divided by 4 will give us 6. So this is the value of x, and option C has it. I hope this makes some sense. All right, so let's go to question 25. An isosceles right triangle has a hypotenuse of length 58 inches. What is the perimeter in inches of this triangle? So we can draw the right triangle like this, and because it's an isosceles right triangle, it means that this length is equal to this length, while the hypotenuse is 58 inches. So now we need to find these two lengths, so we can make this to be x and this x. So if we use Pythagoras theorem, then 58 squared will be equals to x squared plus x squared. So 58 squared will be equals to 2x squared. So if we divide both sides by 2, then x squared will be equals to 58 squared over 2. We can simply take the square root of both sides so that x can now be equals to 58 over the square root of 2. And because we cannot keep the square root as a denominator, we need to multiply by the square root of 2 over the square root of 2. Nothing has actually changed, but the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 will simply give us 2. So this is now 58 times this root 2. So 58 root 2 over square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is 2. So 2 can go into 2, that will be 1. 58 divided by 2 will be equals to 29 root 2. So it means that this would be 29 root 2, 29 root 2. Each of the x is 29 root 2. So to find the perimeter, we simply need to, so this is also 29 root 2. So perimeter will be equals to 29 root 2 plus 29 root 2 plus 58. So 29 root 2 plus 29 root 2 is 58 root 2. So this will be equals to 58 root 2 plus 58, which can also be written as 58 plus 58 root 2. So this is the answer, and if you look at the options, we have it as this option C. I hope this makes some sense. All right, so that is for question 25. Let's take question 26. All right, question 26. In the xy plane, a parabola has a vertex 9 and -14 and intersect the x-axis at 2 points. If the equation of the parabola is written in the form y equals to ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are constant, which of the following could be the value of a plus b plus c? So now we are going to write this in vertex form. Remember that the vertex form is y is equals to a open bracket x minus h squared plus k. Now h is 9 and k is -14, so we can substitute them into this, which will now become x minus 9 squared, and then since k is -14, we simply need to write this as -14 here. So we are going to expand x minus 9 squared, so this will become x squared minus 18x plus 81 minus 14. So now we are going to distribute a into the parentheses. So this will become ax squared minus 18ax plus 81 a minus 14. So now remember that the equation is in this form. So we are going to compare ax squared with this one. Okay, if we compare them, then a will be equals to a in this case, and also negative 18 ax correspond to bx, so automatically b is equals to negative 18a, and c corresponds to 81a minus 14. So now to find the sum of a, b, and c, we need to add up this. So this will be a plus negative 18a plus 81a minus 14. So if we consider this positive and negative, positive negative 18a, automatically this will become negative 18a plus 81a minus 14. All right, so if we now combine like terms, a minus 18a will give us negative 17a. Negative 17a plus 81a would give us 64a minus 14. So now you can see that because of the presence of a in this case, we can't have a specific number, but from the question we can see that the graph of this parabola is a concave up, because the question states that the vertex is at 9 and negative 14. So if you have this kind of graph like this, and maybe this is negative 14 here, and this is 9, so the vertex could be at this point. Excuse me. And it says that the graph intersect the x-axis at 2 points, so that means it could show something like this. Okay, so this is a vertex, so it's a concave up because it intersects. So whenever a parabola or the graph of a quadratic function has this curve, it means that a is positive. So like this, when you have this, a is positive, that means it's greater than 0. But when it is like this, it is negative, a is less than 0. Good. So in this case, a is greater than 0, or is positive. So now we are going to set this value to the options that we have to determine the one that can give us the value of a to be positive. So let's check them out for each of them. If we set this value to negative 23, so let's assume we have 64a minus 14 is equals to negative 23. If we add 14 to both sides, this will be equals to a negative value. So 64a will be equals to a negative value. And if we divide both sides by 64, A will be negative. So if we set to negative 19, if we add 14 to both sides, it's still going to end up as negative. So from all of these, the right options that can give us A would be D, because if we have this to be, if we set this to 12, negative 12, then if we add 14 to both sides, then 64A will be equals to 2. So 64A will be equals to 14 minus 12, which is equals to 2. And if we divide both sides by 64, A will be equals to 1 over 32, which is a positive number. So this is the only option where A is positive. That means the sum of A, B, and C will be equals to negative 12. I hope that makes some sense. All right, so now let's go to the final question, question 27. Question 27. All right. Function f is defined by f of x equals this, where a and b are constant. In the xy plane, the graph of y equals f of x minus 15 has a y-intercept at this. The product of a and b is this. What is the value of a? All right, so now since f of x is this and y is equals to f of x minus 15, it means that y automatically will be equals to negative a to the power of x plus b minus 15, because negative a to the power of x plus 15 is f of x. So we simply replace this with this value. Okay, so now at the intercept, at the y-intercept, x is 0 and y is negative 99 over 7. So let's simply write negative 99 over 7 in the place of y and equate this to negative a to the power of 0, because x is 0, okay, plus b minus 15. So this would be equals to negative 99 over 7 will be equals to, any number to the power of 0 is 1, so this is negative 1 plus b minus 15. So negative 1 minus 15 will give us negative 16. So this would be negative 99 over 7 is equals to b minus 16. So we can add 16 to both sides. So if we add 16 to both sides, then we are going to have negative 99 over 7 plus 16 is equals to b. So we can now see this as over 1. So multiply this by 7 and also multiply 16 by 7. So we are going to have negative 99 over 7 plus 6 times 7 times 6 is 42. Write down 2, carry 4. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 4. It's 11. So this over 7 is equals to b. So if we subtract 99 from 112, this is going to give us 13. So we now have 13 over 7 is equals to b. All right, so now coming back to the question states that this product of a and b is 65 over 7. So the product of a and b simply means when a and b are multiplied, they give us 67, and we have found the value of b to be 13 over 7, so we can simply multiply that by a. So a times 13 over 7 is equals to 65 over 7 over 7. So now we can cross multiply, or just we can multiply both sides by 7 over 13. So this is 8 times 13 over 7. So if we multiply this by 7 over 13, and also multiply 65 over 7 by 7 over 13, then 7 over 13 over 7 would cancel 7 over 13 from here, and 7 would cancel 7 from here, and 65 into 13, 13 into 13 is 1, and 65 divided by 13 is 5. So automatically A is equals to 5. So this is the answer to this question, and I hope it makes some sense. So this is the final question for module 1, and then in our next video I'm going to be working on module 2. So thank you very much. So if you find this video useful, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like the video, and also click on the notification button. Thank you. I see you in our next video. Bye bye.